What's up, guys? This is Brent with 247parts.com, the best place online to go buy John Deere parts. And in this video, I'm going to show you how to do a full engine service on this John Deere Z730M. First, let's go over tools needed, and we'll leave them up over here on the side or bring them back in from time to time so you know exactly what you're going to need. So first off, we're going to have a drain pan, plenty of blue shop towels or any kind of rags or paper towels that you might have. Then we need a 3-inch oil cap filter wrench, or if you have another filter wrench like I have here with a strap style, we're just going to need some sort of filter wrench for that oil filter removal. Then we're going to need a 13/16 spark plug socket and ratchet to take those spark plugs loose. Then we're also going to need a spark plug gap gauge to check the gap on those spark plugs before they go back in. And then last but not least, a set of pliers to help in changing out that fuel filter. So step one is going to be to get our oil draining. So we're going to go underneath the right hand side of our engine here and get our oil pan placed underneath. And then you'll notice here on the side of the engine, we do have this nice cap and hose here. This is going to be our oil drain system. So what we're going to do is take that and drop it right in between this crack in the frame and the engine plate here. Then once we get that drop down and in, this is just a hand release lever here that we're going to crack that open, let that oil drain out, and then start on our other parts. And then to get this to drain faster, what we're going to do is reach up at the top of the engine and take off our oil cap just to let that air flow. And then once we do that, we should have a lot better relief there of the oil. Step two, we're going to go ahead and change our air filter, which is right here on top, 2 easy twist knobs. Now on the Z730, there is no home maintenance kit. So we do have to get these parts individually. So the air filter is going to be part number MIU 12555, and then our outer filter is MIU 12554. So whenever we're going to change this out, very easy. We just have a twist knob here on this clamp that we're simply going to undo. Take the pressure off of that clamp. Then we can simply pull out here on our old filter, slap on the pre-filter of our new air filter, pop that into the tube just like that, and then tighten back up on our clamp here. Set our top back into place. And then twist our knobs. Good to go. Step three is going to be over here on our spark plugs. Now we are over on the left-hand side of the engine, right next to the valve cover, but we will have one over on the other side of the engine as well, as this is a V-twin engine, so you will have 2 spark plugs here. But to change these, we're going to start off by pulling off our cap here. And once we get that exposed, we're going to go in with our 13/16 spark plug socket. Go in just like that, and then go ahead and break these loose, just like so. And I like to go ahead and take the ratchet off and then use the socket to run this the rest of the way out. And once we're all the way loose, we can simply pull out that old plug. Then we can break out our new plug, which is going to be an NGK BPR4ES. Now this also will correspond to John Deere part number M805853. So we'll go ahead and break this out. And then what we want to do with our plugs before we go back on is make sure and use our spark plug gap gauge here. We're going to insert this in between the top electrode and the middle pin. We're going to start over on the side that has all zeros. We're going to insert that in and then run that along until we feel that resistance. Now these should start to have resistance at 0.030 We went a little far past there. So right in there, we should start feeling that resistance. And if not, what we can do is use this to push down on that electrode. And if we need to pull it out, we can simply put it inside the tool like this and then raise it up and out. So once we get these gapped correctly at 0.030, then we're gonna go ahead and go back in by hand, just like so. Then once again, I like to go on with our spark plug socket, and we're gonna run that in until we feel it touching the side of the engine, or we feel just a little bit of resistance, just like we feel there. Then we'll go back on with our socket and give this a good turn here just to make sure that we are good and snugged up. Just like that. Pull out our socket and then go back on with our cap. And then, like I said, making sure that we're doing this on the other side as well. Step 4, we're going to be over here on the left-hand side of the mower here, and we're going to be changing out our fuel filter. Now, this fuel filter is simply held on by a clamp here at the bottom and a clamp here at the top. So we're just going to break out those pliers and simply relieve these clamps. Pull them down the hose on both sides. Just like so. And we're going to work on pulling off the ends here. A little bit of twisting, turning. There we go. Now you will have a little bit of fuel spillage here, and that's okay. That's part of it on this changing out the fuel filter. All right, just like that. We've got that loose. Now, the fuel filter number is going to be a UC21217. So also one thing we need to keep in mind is our arrow here. Now, this is going to indicate direction of flow. So just remember, our fuel tank is over here and our engine is this way. So we want this to be going from the fuel tank to the engine whenever we're putting these back on. So we'll go back on to our filter here, and then back on this side. Then we'll go back up with our clamps here. All right, so our last step here is going to be replacing our oil filter. Now we can also, by this point, have everything drained out, and we can get our drain hose back up and go ahead and put that cap back on, and then just set it back and out of the way. Then we want to move our oil pan in just a little bit to make sure we're underneath that oil filter. Then we're going to get our oil cap filter wrench here, get it put into place, try to get it snug there on that filter all the way around on all of those edges. Then we'll go ahead and try to get this thing removed. Now I've gone ahead and put an extension here on my ratchet. All right, and just like that, we've got that broken loose there, and we're starting to drain oil there from the filter. And we're going to go ahead and set that down in the drain pan. And then next, we're going to go ahead and break out one of those new quarts of oil here. This is going to be the 10W30 Turf Guard. And we're going to go ahead and dip our finger down into that oil and then just put a thin layer of oil right here around the edge of this filter. Now this is going to help with the sealing of this filter to the side of the engine. We're going to take that, go right back on to the side of the engine there. Make sure that spins freely until we can get it tightened down. Now, whenever we're going back on with this filter, we want to go hand tight, but we want to try to go as hand tight as we can get it. So you might go ahead and grab a rag here, get a good grip on this, get that good and hand tight onto the engine. And then last but not least, we'll go up here to our oil dipstick, pull it up and out, and then we're going to go in with those 2 quarts of oil. Now here you may need a funnel. It's probably a better idea to go ahead and use a funnel, but I'm just freehanding it here, trying not to make a ton of a mess. All right, and then just like that, we can go ahead and put our dipstick back in place. And then our last and final step would be to go ahead and fire everything up, make sure we have no leaks on our fuel filter, oil filter, anywhere around this mower. Make sure you can go ahead and get everything cleaned up, and then you should be good to go. So guys, I hope you liked this video. I hope this video helped you out, and if it did, we just ask you to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. And then also, if you need any parts for your John Deere equipment, make sure to go check us out at 247parts.com. And as always, guys, thanks for watching. We'll see you next time. Hey guys, make sure to go buy your parts right here and subscribe right here.